final night of the second day of the knockout round of the European Women's Lacrosse Championship. Tonight on YouTube, it is the finale as Germany, the black on black, they take the field at 1-5 out of Group A. They take on the Netherlands, who are 4-1 champions of Group B, losers last night to Israel. Good evening and welcome to our coverage. I'm Ralph Bednarski, joined in this first half by Ireland assistant coach and goalkeeper coach Catherine Conway. Steffi Samaras will join you for the second half. The Netherlands took one on the chin last night, 15-5. They feel ready against Germany, and we get an early procedure. The two teams scrimmaged just on Saturday in preparation of the knockout round, so they are very familiar with one another. Catherine, you coached against Germany, of course, in Group A, and the Netherlands are on your floor. So what do you make of the matchup?
This is a great matchup. The Germans run a very, in typical German fashion, effective team set up on the field. Excuse me. The Netherlands are very fluid. They move the ball quickly. Both teams, high spirits, late game. They both had a long day to prepare for the match. So I'm expecting to see a lot of good things from both teams.
Possession for the Dutch, back behind starting goalie Louisa Beck, who's gotten the bulk of the minutes for Germany. Otherwise, a nice timeshare. And there on the drive, Kosha Haming able to attack and then beat Beck with the bouncer, and a good start for the Dutch.
Yeah, that was a great drive from the elbow, taking it inside, able to protect her stick as she came down the alleyway and put it away. It was a nice bouncer, well-placed shot, well-timed. Hope to see a lot of shooting like that tonight.
And Kosha Haming in that attack rotation. That is her 8th goal of this tournament. It comes unassisted on the first possession. The Dutch will use 4 attackers, 8 different midfielders, 4 low D. They'll split their goalies, and also 4 different draw controllers among the deepest teams here in Netanya. Laura Koshorik, and she has found the fountain of youth of these last 3 games. Not as noticeable in the first 2, but a player that goes back to the 2013 World Cup, not rostered on the 2017 World Cup team back here in Netanya for 2019, as Germany has possession. In goal is Amaris Bransma. This is her first tournament for the Dutch, and we may see Frida Berenson in the second half as Coach Adam Gray has been splitting his goalies too.
Frida had a great game the other night, coming in the second half. She made a number of saves, really did a good job commanding her defense. Really excited to see if she comes in the second half here.
This is a pass and out of the reach of Anna Block, and then it could not be saved. So Germany with an unforced turnover. Germany yesterday escaping Austria's comeback bid, but Coach Shelby Davis was happy with the way they were able to control the ball. And just to see Germany win and get some validation for all the hard work they put in. As back behind, it is Haming to preserve this possession for the Netherlands. And on the flip side, Adam Gray's team, they were blitzed by Israel 15-5. And the score doesn't even show it, as they were backdoored all night before finally, over the last perhaps half hour of the game, the Netherlands able to play Israel a lot more evenly. As here is Imke de Haan, Germany in a man-to-man. And the Dutch outside. What do you see as significant for the Dutch today against the Germans defensively? As here is a shot. They're off to a good start. That is de Haan. A righty rip, 2-0.
I think that the key to success here for the Netherlands is going to be spreading out the German defense as they're running a man-to-man, using both sides of the field, swinging it back and forth, and also using north-south dodges. Get an early slide, be able to swing it to the the next attacker who's ready to drive to cage.
De Haan nets her 8th goal of this tournament. And the Dutch, while they don't have one player that's pushing 20 points, but they have a ton of balance. Sarah Sweerster-Landis Viborg is their leading scorer with 14 goals. As here is a foul off the draw. Adam Gray, the last remark he made about his team is that they felt really good because they won the game scrimmage on Saturday against Germany. And both coaches agreed they would go all out, not make it be a practice scrimmage situations. They wanted to really push themselves in and make the score count. And I know there's different varieties of that. It's really going to count today because Dika Spitzen on her
Happy birthday, Dika!
She makes it 3-0.
I think, these draw controls here, the Netherlands are able to get in and get underneath the ball. The Germans are coming over the top, getting these empty stick checks, resulting in possession. This is great. The Netherlands are able to then push possession. Timeout for Germany.
Early timeout here for the Germans. Dika Spitzen able to net the goal, and she has especially played well over the last 3 games. That's her 9th of this tournament. So, Catherine, let's talk about Ireland. As your team will be in the, off the top of my head, the 7th, 8th place game.
Correct.
After your loss today.
Yep.
What's your sense about what's this experience has been like with 2019 Ireland, and just what has made this special to you?
Our experience here has been great, playing in the as it's been called, the pool of death, the A pool. It's been a fantastic experience for the entire team. It's the first time that an Irish team's ever participated in the top pool of the tournament. Our wins and losses do not reflect the learning that we've done throughout the tournament. All of our players have made fantastic strides forward, and we're really keyed up for tomorrow's game. Regardless of who we face, we have close connections with both the Netherlands and with Germany. So it'll be a battle of friends, but it'll be very intense regardless of who we end up playing. And credit to Scotland today coming out. They took control in the first half and took it from us 7-1 at halftime. And we've had some fourth quarter magic throughout the tournament, but we were not able to capitalize in the second half, regardless of our 6-3 advantage. So,
yep, the winner of this game gets Scotland tomorrow. The loser takes on Catherine Conway's Ireland team. Draw control, Stella Nadig for Germany. And Nadig for the Germans, they've only had really 1 possession and they turned it over. So back behind here is Nina Lindberg, who starts again on the attack. Tessa Helft shooting, and Helft tucks it in. A missed slide for the Netherlands as she beats Bransma, and it's 3-1.
Seemed like a little miscue there with the Netherlands defenders. One shifted over the top of the crease, and no one picked up the incoming midfielder. Everyone's jogging back here. As everyone's aware, there's a 30-second clock coming out of a goal. All players have 30 seconds to return to the middle portion of the field to set up for the draw for the next possession.
Now, we've seen that happen only once in this tournament, where the delay of game has been called and possession was granted. Melle van Dilk took the draw against Nadig that time for the Dutch. And this one pops out, and it'll be grabbed and recovered by the Dutch and Osken. So as they step in and go here outside to the wing, the Dutch with a 3-1 lead. 9 minutes to go in this opening quarter on the final game of the second day of the knockout round. The tournament championship game is already set. It'll be England and Israel Thursday night. The third place game, an interesting one too, Wales against the Czech Republic. As outside of the wing, shooting space is called, Van Dilk. That's been a point of contention. Of course, some of the rules have changed. Shooting space is different than what you coach in college. How about the adjustments that you've had to coach your players up to make with that call?
In terms of coaching to the international rules, it's really just a matter of knowing the rule book and being able to communicate with your players effectively. The 6v6 play has been great for us, and I would assume for most other teams, as it opens up many other driving lanes. Turnover here from the Netherlands, battle on the far side.
And the Dutch will pick it up. Elena Roth, missed opportunity for a ground ball there. And the pickup for Mika Den Bakker.
I think one of the biggest differences, obviously, in the game is the lack of the free movement. Charge here.
Lena Stada, who's been perhaps the most consistent defender for Germany. She's been excellent, along with another young player, Amelie Peterson. And it will be Stada looking to transition. Down the middle, Laura Koshorik. And outside for Natick, as here comes Germany with about 7 minutes to go. And you mentioned your experience of this event going in. Of course, you know it's going to be back-to-back, but describe what the grind was like, maybe compared to what you prepared or attempted to prepare for mentally before going in, as the Dutch out-scrap the Germans for a ground ball.
Yeah, right at the restraining line there. Great battle from the Dutch. Picking that up, passing it back to their goalie. Long clear down the middle of the field, over the top. It's hard to prepare for 5 games in a row. You have to rely on your players to take care of their fitness and their mental preparation as well as their physical preparation going into a tournament. Not having a rest day during pool play was very, very difficult. I think our players did a fantastic job every day after our games, coming back, getting their legs up on the wall, stretching and whatnot, using the pool to their advantage as a pseudo ice bath. I have no complaints on how our players took care of their bodies throughout pool play. It's hard to beat the heat here. Not much you can do to prepare that unless you're going to hot yoga every day.
And that's actually what the Netherlands did today. Assistant coach Taylor Brown, who leads yoga sessions. That's part of what the Dutch did, because this game got going at 10:25 local time. So some of the players did a beach day. Half the team did a movie. A quarter of the team were out here to watch the semifinals before getting ready. They got here very early. Here's Koshorik to try to pass the time and keep themselves loose and occupied. As on the handle here is Anna Blanc.
We actually had a number of the Dutch players on the sideline of our game, sitting with Austria, another one of our fellow hotel residents. That's one of the really special things about the international lacrosse community is you're on the field as you're witnessing here, beating each other up, and then you go back to wherever you're staying and you end up being friends in the dining halls, hanging out in the hallways. A number of women bring their children, have their significant others, around. It's a really, really community-based feel. It's really special and something that I have really appreciated being a part of the Irish team.
And Team Ireland, of course, looking to build up, and the bar continues to be set higher and higher. Of course, with England having the tremendous depth at the university level. Group A, 6 teams in this European Championship, 16 teams total that made the tournament. And a skip pass, that's an errant pass. And here comes the clear for Lisa Neubert.
Great defense in the ride there.
Stepping across and in is Stella Natick. So the Germans here with 4 minutes left. They've gotten a goal from Tessa Helf. Assist from Nina Lindberg. After the Netherlands jumped out 3-0. Here's another errant pass to the midfield. And an opportunity to scoop and grab it for the Germans. They're right back in with Amelie Peterson in her first tournament as an MBA. One of the very talented young women, professionals that sacrifice to make these rosters, to keep up their skill sets. And particularly in Germany, they're even working on an indoor Germans Women's Lacrosse League. They have 3 different leagues.
They do.
At different levels. And Germany, outside of the U.S., may have something to say about the England and the U.S. having the best structure for this sport. As the pass down, looking for Neubert, and it comes right back in to Bradsma as she heaves it ahead. Tried to clear, but here comes Stada to race in, and Germany right back with the ball until they throw it away. Natick relentless. Natick is boxed out, and the Dutch have won a couple of scraps in this opening quarter to get it back.
Yeah, excuse me, I've been coaching all day, so the throat's a little scratchy here. The German league system is really, really impressive. I will say, as a player that played in the Division I college level, we don't have much post-collegiate women's lacrosse in the United States. because most of these players start, not necessarily when they're 6 years old. They are starting older, at high school and university level. Most of the players start older, so there's a lot more development happening at an older age, and there's a lot more opportunities for women to pick up the sport, regardless of when they started playing. Great drive here.
That's
Looks like shooting
Koshorek.
space.
And she'll be on the right wing for a free position. And it seems like it's reflected in the German team. Not only do they have this team here, but there's also a full reserve team to choose from for Coach Shelby Davis, and there's a U19 team that'll be making the trip to Peterborough if they're not already there in Ontario.
Yeah, most of the teams are starting to arrive.
There's
Sidearm
Koshorek.
ramp.
Couple of crow hops, and she finishes high. Germany is within one.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the teams are starting to arrive in Peterborough for the U19 World Championships. Saw on Twitter that Kenya arrived today. Glad that they're able to make the trip. First-time participant. Unfortunate that Uganda had to pull out, but it's always great to see the development in the non-traditional areas. Coming from the States, we usually talk about that being like Tennessee, Texas, states that you normally don't associate with lacrosse. But when you're in the international community, it's nice to see countries you would never associate with lacrosse picking up the sport.
Koshorek continues the tear that she has been on over the last 3 to 4 games. That is her 9th goal of the tournament. And she leads Germany. Possession for the Netherlands. 45 seconds left, opening quarter. They have a 3-2 lead. The continuous clock will stop on any whistle under 30 seconds.
So Germany is now running a backer defense here. 17's acting as their backer, hedging out on ball.
And this is the first time we've seen that from Germany today.
And there's
Elena
a turnover.
Roth. 15 seconds left. Roth races ahead. Down to the crease, goal line extended, and now carrying behind is Lindberg. Met by Tio on the post. Lindberg the rollback. Tio trying to defend. Thrown back Neubauer. Neubauer, crease roll, stuffed inside. She stepped in the crease anyway. It'll be the Netherlands with possession. Should have 2 seconds remaining. And now our official is going to call it as a push, and we're going to get, I believe we should get goal line extended. So a chance here, the ball needs to cross the goal line before the buzzer.
We had the unfortunate happenstance of having 2 of our goals called back due to the ball not crossing the plane. It's not basketball.
This is a low shot, and that is going to count. Germany celebrates. That had to be perfect, and it appears it was for Jula Neubauer. 3-3 at the end of one.
Not the shot I would necessarily take, but a goal is a goal. She stepped up just over goal line extended and took the rip.
Free position finish. The Germans with their own 3-goal run. A good start in Netanya. End of one from the last game of the night. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the second quarter. second quarter begins. Tied at 3, Germany and the Netherlands. And a battle to see who will bump up and play in the 5th, 6th place game tomorrow. The loser will take on Ireland in the 7th, 8th place game. Joining me as a guest analyst for this first half, Catherine Conway, Ireland assistant coach under Coach Kaki Helmer, offensive coordinator Hillary Bowen O'Doherty. Ireland losing a tough one today to Scotland as this tournament amazingly winds down. It'll all end Thursday night in the gold medal game. Long battle off the circle, and it is Lisa Neubert that comes up with it. So Germany pulled out the backer zone for the first time. So that's a subtle nuance as they carry behind. What's it been like scouting and preparing things? What does the structure look like for yourself and Kaki Helmer and Hillary, where it's every day, you have quick turnarounds at sometimes.
Yep.
There's a lot that you would love to get in that you have to find a way to budget your time as the Dutch come up with a takeaway.
The scout factor of this tournament is it's both easy and hard at the same time. You have all the teams playing in the same facility, about 15 minutes away from where we're staying. So it's easy to get access to watching the games, but the ability to condense that into a cohesive and understandable scouting report to then give it to your team in the one meeting room that we have at the hotel, shared amongst 8 teams, is a little tough. I think that the players have done a phenomenal job of preparing themselves for this tournament by making anything online that is available something that they use. In preparation for playing the Czech Republic. Great save there by the goalie. Stood up tall. She'll be set up for a free position here. Looks like shooting space. In preparation for playing the Czech Republic, one of our players, Robin Morris, who generally plays crease attack, she's actually captain of an English club team called Daxlax, and they had actually played the Czech Republic in a tournament, I believe, at the Berlin Open. So we were watching film from their tournament. Any way that you can get your hands on film, they found it. They were in the hallways. They were watching it. They were talking to their friends on other teams. When you're playing 5 games in 5 days and then expected to perform in playoffs, hats off to all of the players at this tournament for doing what they can to make sure that they're ready mentally and physically to be able to do that.
That's fascinating that the players actively seek out information and how invested they are. Feed to the front. Hammich could not grab it. And Germany looks like they may come up with a stop. Peterson will relay it back through Stada, and then Louisa Beck, who is in there for this second quarter for Germany, tied at 3.
Netherlands running a little bit of a zone ride here. You have Yannick Bacchus stepping up, taking point on the ball carrier, and your other 2 attackers dropping low. As we just saw there, the risk you give up is the long pass low, but if they try and take you 1v1, you have the ability to slide into the zone.
And Germany is able to execute that. Jule Neubauer, terrific goal at the end of the first quarter. Here is Blanc. Space outside for Tessa Helf. And Germany through Lisa Neubert, who has been much of this tournament their quarterback from behind. As Germany has been searching for consistency, off-ball movement, flow, those kinds of buzzwords for an offense. As Kashurik behind for Neubert.
Germany running a little bit of a 2/3 woman game on the inside here as they move the ball around the perimeter. I will say that the 6v6 shot and goal, that was a beautiful rip. Got her stick up and off of her body, changed the levels, buried it low. The 6v6 offense, again, as I said earlier, it opens up so many more dodging lanes for teams if you utilize your space correctly. When you're playing in a 7v7 offense, timeout here to the Netherlands. When you're playing in a 7v7 offense, it's really easy to run 3-man games, and then you always have an extra person that you need to do something with. She generally is either a cutter or a space, you just put her over to take up space. So I feel like across the board, the offense here has been far more dynamic across all of the teams playing. And then conversely, defensively, it's really hard. you're covering a lot more space, and so all the defenders have had to pick up a far heavier load, especially without the ability to run through the goal circle as you are in NCAA lacrosse in the States. I know that that's a proposed rule change. I'm interested to see how the vote goes through at the World Lacrosse AGM in August in Peterborough.
Anna Block picked up the goal, 4-3 at the timeout here. Catherine Kame, assistant coach of Ireland, joining me here, as well as checking out the winner or the loser of this game. The loser of this game will take on Ireland tomorrow before you guys can relax and hang out on Thursday on the final day of this very long tournament that got started last Monday with the opening ceremonies in one game with Israel taking on this German team. And Catherine, when you look at the Netherlands, they're trying to jump up from Pool B or Group B. They went 4-0 there, then taking on Israel. How about that step up for the Netherlands here tonight as they take on a team that has faced significantly better competition? What's key for the Netherlands there to make that adjustment that perhaps yesterday they weren't able to do so as well against Israel?
Being able to carry over what you did in the previous game against as you said, an opponent that played a faster pace in a more competitive pool, simply because you're playing against teams that are in the top 7, in Europe. Any opportunity that you get to play against a faster, a team that plays at a faster pace, you've got to adjust quickly. As we saw, Netherlands came out really hard at the beginning. Oh, change of call here. Netherlands came out really, really hard to start. And then Germany, they've been experiencing this throughout their pool play, and so they responded. A little similar to how we've done with Ireland. We've had some slow starts and then relied on second half to really kick into gear. Germany's back into their backer here.
So they go to the backer for another possession, so that's a bit of a change-up. And certainly with the two teams having scrimmaged on Saturday, perhaps something that Germany did not show in that game, as Janneke Bokus now the field in the midfield for the Netherlands. Shot inside, and Beck able to keep it out.
Good save.
Save and tight for Rihanna Ostvoud Weidnes, the shooter, outside the crease. Stada, and now approach against the zone ride with 5 minutes gone, second quarter. Germany has taken the lead 4-3.
Big ball shifting the field here.
Roth, who's been a mainstay for Germany in the midfield. And then Roth's pass read and intercepted. And here comes Van Dilkt with Germany back in the hole defensively. Another possession for the Dutch.
I will say that the Dutch won't quit, and neither will the fans. They're sitting to our right, or standing to our right now. We made friends with them last night while watching some of the other games, and they ended up coming to our game today. Again, referencing the community feel of the International Lacrosse Group. You make friends with someone on the sideline and they go out of their way to come to your game. It's really special.
Bokus, as she darts through and then somehow finishes with a little bit of a redodged backhand.
Impressive to the top corner.
An unorthodox shot from Janneke Bokus ties the game at 4.
I believe the phrase that they use is lekker, meaning awesome. Lekker shot, Bokus.
Her fourth goal, that one comes unassisted. And Bokus was able to run downhill. And the Netherlands have gone back and forth with Germany in an important game to have a chance to play Scotland tomorrow for 5th place.
You got to give a lot of credit to Scotland. They've done a great job in this tournament. They came out really hard today. Great draw control here by the Netherlands coming in. They've done a great job in this tournament. They did their job against us today. Yesterday they controlled pace, they controlled tempo, they executed, and they prepared for the game. Our match against the Czech Republic, it was an absolute battle, and credit to the Czech team for how they performed against England today. I'm really excited to see how they do in the medal round. They came in with the goal of medaling, and they're going to get there.
Pass inside, and that's intercepted in the knockaway, and it came down to possessions in both semifinals, as Wales just did not get the ball enough against Israel and lost 8-5.
The bounces did not go their way. They could not get a secondary ground ball in that game. They worked very hard. That is an incredibly athletic and disciplined team. Israel was able to take advantage of every possession that they had offensively.
Down the middle, Peterson does her job again, so steady, and now for Germany, they look to go back in front as we're about to hit 6.5 left. So Laura Kashork along with Blanc and Helf in the midfield. Blanc, and shot to the off-stick side. What about the goaltending tandems that we have seen? It appears it is much more of a European philosophy. We see goalies that will split halves consistently, even in and out during quarters. That's very different. In the United States, that's it can happen, but not as often. And here in Europe, it appears it is a very common practice.
It is. Boston College 2 seasons ago was running 2 goalies as split halves. Last season they did the same thing. Syracuse often runs 2 goalies. You got to do what you need to do for the best of your team. Sometimes you have a goalie that starts really well but doesn't finish well. Sometimes you have a goalie that's, we're all a little off, being a goalie myself. But sometimes you have a goalie that just really wants to have the pressure of closing out a game, and, she is great in the cage for the last quarter. It is definitely more of a European style, so to speak, of splitting halves and splitting time. But, ultimately, whatever the coaching staff feels is the best combination to be able to close out your game defensively.
Blanc back behind Neubert.
Roll from X, getting inside. Shot over the top, no backup.
She did not have the cutter, took it herself. Good look for Lisa Neubert, but the Netherlands will get the ball back at the 5-minute mark. And this one is shaping up to have a good finish. Maris Brandmans, and she's the less experienced goalie between her and Frida Berenson. Berenson expected to play in the second half. Both are righty goalies. Helf had the opportunity off of a failed clear to grab it, and instead the Netherlands will keep it, but they foul Helf.
That was great recognition by number 6, Nina Morskenkoff, to chase that ball down. She saw the shot go over and chased immediately to the ball. Unlike men's lacrosse, you're chasing to the ball, not the end line. I think something to note here for the Netherlands. Oh, ball going out of bounds. Netherlands ball. Something to note on the Dutch team is that they run fairly even playing time regardless of position. They run lines in almost every position, and if they're not running lines, they run even subs. They're playing everyone so they have fresh legs, and I think that at the end of their game yesterday, even though they lost, they were going hard for the entirety of the 60-minute game because they weren't nearly as tired as some of the other players.
The Netherlands forced back during this heavy ride by the Germans, and now in the middle of the field they find Olthaus. So here to Olthaus, pushes, and one of those 8 midfielders, she drops it off and actually heads back to her low D spot.
Good recognition by number 11, Kimberly Verboom there to hold to allow the ball carrier to make it over the line.
Bersad, the lone lefty on the attack. And then the pass sails away from Kim Verboom out of bounds with under 3 minutes left.
So I'm not sure if this has been brought up on any of the haven't watched all the games. I'm sorry to admit that.
That's totally okay. Catherine, you're busy.
A little bit,
You're
a little
busy.
bit between the scouts and the prep and eating team meals with all the fun teams at our hotel.
And Kaki and Hillary are characters.
Oh, absolutely. We have a phenomenal coaching staff. It's been sad, a little bit sad to miss Sarah Walsh-Katkowski, our previous head coach. She had a baby, Harrison, and so she took a leave of absence for this tournament. And Kaki's done a phenomenal job stepping in as the interim head coach. She has gotten herself in a position to be able to lead this team. She's done a really, really great job, and I appreciate being able to be on her staff. I know Hillary feels the same way.
And I can't forget about Mrs. Friel either, your team manager, Delaney Friel's mom. All the work done behind the scenes. Delaney, your goalie.
Serious shout out to all of the managers, regardless of whatever team you're on. It is a virtually thankless job. I know that we've thanked her.
Oh, Lindbergh, an elevated pass.
Well, alley-oop goal there. That was nice.
That was touched down by Eula Neubauer. Germany ahead again.
The managers have done a phenomenal job dealing with all of the various issues that's popped up throughout this tournament, be it laundry, busing, room reservations for meetings, meal times, getting boxed lunches, you name it. They've done a phenomenal job. I don't regret not being in the manager group chat.
Getting late to the draw circle was the Dutch. And again, as you just referenced earlier, Catherine, in the first quarter, you have 30 seconds to get there. The officials want to keep the game going and to avoid stall tactics by potential teams.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that there's a 30-second clock to get back to the draw, and yet there's no shot clock, as evidenced by our game against Scotland, where they were able to run the ball out for 3 minutes to end the game. There's a lot of talk about rule proposals. All of those can be found on the World Lacrosse website, which will be voted on in August, and I encourage anyone that's listening to read them. A number of serious changes to the women's game are proposed, including free movement, movement through the goal circle, changing a restraining line foul to a major foul, aligning international stick rules with U.S. lacrosse stick rules, et cetera, et cetera. I think that, there's great save by the goalie there on a righty dodge from the top.
Brasma comes up with it, re-dodge in front, but that's it for the first half as the Dutch get a stop at the end. And it's 5-4 Germany at the half. Many rule proposals that, Catherine, you will be looking at coming up in the future. Sounds exciting. The game continues to evolve. I'm sure some of those you're looking for just to help out the goalies just a little bit more too.
I'm looking to help out everybody on the field. I want to have a really fun, fast game, but I also want to make sure that we're actually still playing women's lacrosse. So, but yeah, this has been a phenomenal tournament. The 9v9 setup has been great. It's been really fun and fast lacrosse across all teams that are playing here. I'm excited to see how this game finishes out.
Catherine, a pleasure. 5-4, thank you so much for joining me here. I'll see you tomorrow with Team Ireland, as you will see the loser of this game tomorrow. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Catherine Conway, native of Massachusetts, Boston College graduate, and 2-year starting goalie there, assistant coach for Team Ireland. I'll be back in 15 minutes, rejoined by Steffi, and then the conclusion of Germany and the Netherlands. third quarter, and this could shape up to be a very good game. 5-4, Germany over the Netherlands. Can the Netherlands from Group B knock off a Group A opponent? Tessa Health advances. Ralph Bjornchik rejoined by Steffi Samaras here for the second half. And my thanks to Ireland assistant coach Catherine Conway. Hillary Bowen O'Doherty insisted that they go back and probably start watching film and maybe even get some dinner, so it is not Catherine's fault. We'll have a restart, I should say a free position up top for Nina Lindberg of Germany. Winner of this game gets Scotland for 5th place. Loser will get Ireland for 7th. Lindberg shoots low against the new goalie, Frida Berenson, and it's 6-4.
You know, Lindberg's come on really strong for this German team the last 3 games. I'm liking that she's attacking the cage really hard. She's finishing low. It seems like we've got a set of goalies here in this European Championships that are very strong high. This is not something that's unusual for goalies to be very strong high, but the finish low, especially off of that center 8. And now Lindberg is drawing the face guard.
Yep, it's Micah Teo. Teo did the face guard in the second half 2 days ago against Norway. Leading scorer Tala Silfeld, and doing a very good job as Netherlands pulled away in that game. That was for the Group B pool championship between 3-0 teams that day. Netherlands would win. Louisa Beck stays in cage for Germany. Germany had also alternated often, but Beck remains in for the third quarter. May have had 2 quality goalies too, with Britta Goldenstein the other. Goldenstein is a lefty. Feed here for Bokus, as Bokus will get out of a double team. And then Dika Spitzen, who's already scored a goal on her birthday. Dika back to Prasad. And Bellamy here for Hamming. We get a whistle. Germany continues to go with the backer zone. So it's the first true team we've seen commit to the backer zone for an extended period of time. I'm a little surprised if you would have told me that, let's say, the Monday before the opening ceremony.
Yeah, I think that the backer zone is something that's, you know, with the type of ball movement we've seen here, the backer zone is something that should be beaten fairly easily with just simple ball movement, unless it's a trap. I haven't seen the trap yet from Germany. But you know what? I also appreciate Germany trying something different.
Push ahead, Tessa Health. Is the backer easier or actually more difficult to be effective with in a 6-on-6 setting here compared to the old 7-on-7?
I definitely think the backer is probably more effective the larger the number that you have. The less space that a defender has to cover, and the ability to turn the attacker into another defender and have that trap, that's probably a big key.
Koshorik was trail checked. Yannicka Bokus lead ahead on a block, though. We'll chase that down. And block will go back to Health. Block with Koshorik and Health, the first midfield that's been established for Germany these last couple of games. And Germany looking for consecutive wins after some tough losses playing in Group A. And back behind, Lisa Neubert. As the play will slow up. So Berenson here for the third quarter after Amaris Brandsma started. And Koshorik maybe lost that one in the lights. That looked like it was directly on line. But here stepping across is Peterson.
Yeah, the lights, the time of day, deadly combination.
Koshorik. Van Dilkt meets her. Fake feed to the front by Ricarda Graber. Another errant ball by the Germans. And Koshorik with the attack far too deep for the Netherlands to make a play on that ball.
You know, I like the option that the Netherlands have gone with trying to mark out Lindberg. She did such a great job the other night of quarterbacking this Germany offense, which allowed Koshorik to take the one-on-one. We were able to feed Health on the crease, and it just opened up that other layer of offense for Germany. And again, these are the game plans that these coaches get to come up with and have fun with.
Block, drawn up Health, low save made, Berenson. Koshorik collects the ground ball. And the Dutch and the double team almost got there. Health back into the crease for Blanc. And here comes Bocas. And Bocas is ridden and then bumped out of bounds.
They're tired! They're tired! That's it, Bocas!
The Netherlands into the box. They trail 6-4. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead before the Germans settled in. Adam Gray of the Netherlands thought his team was particularly loose and focused at the same time. Excited for this chance to play Germany. Well, the programs know each other enough. Neighboring countries in recent time. The Netherlands has done a lot of things with the Germans. Not recently, however, in national games, but they did scrimmage on Saturday as Spitzen will be here on the wing.
Come on, DK! Let's go, DK!
Spitzen's angle taken away.
I do like the fact that the German team is forcing the ball to that lower corner and taking away the center option from the Netherlands.
We'll get a foul outside with Kimberly Feuerboom, but she's beyond the 8-meter. Also in this game, the Netherlands' leading scorer, switched to Landis Viborg, only one shot here midway through the third quarter. And the back of zone may have something to do with that as opposed to man.
Yeah, and she's used to being on that crease and controlling that area. And now they've moved her out to the elbow, potentially getting her going in another position.
Feuerboom was cutting, and across the restraining line there was Morsenkopf. She maintains that Lisa Neubert nudged her across. So Lindberg back behind. Block. And Koshorik. Feuerboom was there close enough to avoid shooting space. But then the flag. They had Koshorik stopped in her tracks. And did we get a crease violation in addition to that? So we're going to get a throw. Koshorik had stepped in, but the backside official thought that she was fouled.
Yeah, so those are offsetting fouls.
Kashor got a good jump. The official scoots out of the way. Ground ball, Louisa Koopmans. 5 minutes to go. Third quarter, 6-4. The Netherlands trailing Germany. As the Dutch spread their offense, as they will sub on another midfield. Kind of a cool night now in Netanya. I don't think that was possible in the month of July.
Yeah, we
Might be time to put on some socks.
it might be.
Knifing her way through is Denbacher. She is fouled. Denbacher, and Beck makes the save. The Dutch will skip it across. And they'll look to orchestrate their offense again. So there is Zwitserland's Weinborg. Over the top it comes. Shooting space off the skip for Kosha Hamming.
That was such a great move to draw that shooting space.
Let's go, Kosha! Let's go, Coach! Let's go, Kosha!
Hamming right into Beck.
You know, I think the German goalie duo could potentially give the Czech goalie duo a run for their money. They're just so patient.
We're going to have a long discussion about
Yes.
that award. Here comes Zwitserland's Weinborg. Rare transition opportunity, but the ball sailing behind Imke de Haan. Reset with Hamming. Netherlands with possession again as we creep towards 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Spitzen tried the jumping shot. She was stuck, and she gets back up.
I think that's a really hard angle shot, especially when you're driving to that post with your right hand up.
And now Roth fouls the cutter in de Haan. De Haan back up top for Denbacher. Well, the Dutch, a lot of possession time in this game, but they're on the trailing end of a 6-4 score.
Let's go, Holland! Let's go!
Fans on both sides making more noise than we've heard all week.
Let's go, Holland! Let's go!
Last game of 6 from the Tanya.
Let's go!
Shooting space for Hamming. Zwitserland's Weinborg, and she tests Beck low. Another save for Germany's goalie. And Louisa Beck, you can see her confidence increasing. Then darting through, and that shot never made it through. It was batted back. The Netherlands with the ball at the restraining line. Zwitserland's Weinborg wins it. As she rolls back on Roth. Turned along, and then it's Hamming. She picks up shooting space.
You know, the only difference with the ball movement that the Netherlands are having right now is that if this were potentially one of the Division A offenses, they would catch the ball with the angle. Where the Netherlands girls are catching the ball is so far down on the corner that when they draw that shooting space foul, they hardly have an angle.
Here comes Stada. Forced back save made by Beck to end that long possession with 35 seconds to go as Stada is fouled. Stada restarted. Clock turned off. Germany a chance for one look, and it stops on the whistle with under 30 seconds remaining during any quarter. Tessa Health. She'll shoot, and the stave made, but not controlled by Berenson. As she fought it off to the corner, Lindberg is able to grab it. Another whistle. Lindberg flips it in, and Neuberg cannot get the shot off. But Germany gets the lone goal of the third quarter. It was Lindberg on a free position. 6-4 Germany leading the Netherlands as we go into the final quarter of the night from the Tanya. Fourth quarter, and while the Netherlands had a lot of possession time in the third quarter, Louisa Beck was terrific in fighting off several shots. She remains in goal for Germany. Germany got the lone goal from Nina Lindberg, and now procedure called, and this will give the Netherlands a free possession. So they'll be at it again. They've seen a backer zone. They've had several free positions denied by Beck. What is it going to take, Steffi, for the Netherlands to put at least a couple in against her?
You know, I think the biggest thing for the Netherlands is I haven't seen a lot of shots. You know, they're getting free. They're choosing to not shoot when they're dead center, maybe for fear of dangerous follow-through or dangerous shot. They're doing some great ball movement, but we got to pepper these keepers. Like, we got to get things going offensively. And the movement aspect is there, but the shot aspect isn't.
Sweerts to Landis Viborg. Rolls into a double and then lost it. The collapsing defense was very quick. Raw transitions after the strip. Fourth quarter underway. And a whistle off ball. And they point to Micah Teo, who had her feet in the crease. So it appears she has the face guard on Nina Lindberg. But Germany hasn't had the ball a whole lot. It appears it's stayed on every possession. So we'll see if Teo will go back that way. And now she's on another player. Just based on the way she was standing, it looked like a face guard that might have been taken off.
I actually really like the matchup of Teo on Kocurek, just because of the power that Kocurek has from the top.
Yeah, that's what that matchup is now, as Teo trails her. There's a shot on the move from Blanc. Perhaps one that Berenson would like to get back, and now it's 7-4.
And that's that long shot, that long drive with the overhand bounce shot. It's a very hard one to stop.
It comes 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Anna Blanc with a pair of goals. And now Germany in the second half has outscored the Netherlands 4-1. Nadic got up in the air for it, but the Netherlands stripping her. Koopmans, a chance for transition, and she did not take the shot, perhaps veering away a bit. But the way Germany has played defense here, that might be a missed opportunity. 100%
agree, and I think with the fact that this is something new for the German defense, running this zone, one of the things that I would look to do, especially against the zone, is you have to put a mark in the middle. You have to set an attacker up dead center and force Germany to always cover that center person. If you continue to play on the perimeter, they're going to be able to continue to slide.
Let's go! Let's go, defense! 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 Let's go!
3-second call against Germany, but this is from a wide angle and too much traffic in front, so the Netherlands can't take advantage. They've gotten an unorthodox goal from Janneke Bokus midway through the third quarter, and that has been it. A little bit of a broken play, and now the pass is away from Zwitserland's Viborg, and an unforced turnover does not help at all.
And now, again, we get to the point where down 3, 10 minutes to go. We know Germany can clear the ball. They've proved that. So what type of changes do the Netherlands make in their defense?
Roth strong on the clear for Germany.
Let's go, defense! Let's go!
Germany trying to make it 2 in a row. Skip pass over the head of Tessa Helf. She tries to scramble, and then the hard step up by Peterson. But Bellamy Prasad has it. Zwitserland's Viborg, she overran it. Van Dilkt finally for the Netherlands. 9 minutes to go, clock not a factor yet. The Dutch have proven in this tournament that they can put up different draw controllers and have some success. But Germany, probably the biggest reason why they defeated Austria yesterday 11-8. What they did in the draw circle, mostly Nadic in crunch time, but especially on the circle, just out-muscling the Austrians, felt like the greater difference.
Yeah, they definitely proved that they could box out. They could come up with the ground ball. Nedig was able to draw to herself if she could. They took control over that particular piece of the game, which in the end was the difference maker.
And the Dutch come up with another takeaway. Leading ahead was Hirte Althaus. Now Van Dilkt. And the Dutch throughout this tournament have had players kind of alternate big games and be their leading scorers. Hasn't happened yet today. Nobody has multiple goals. Of course, a step up in competition against Germany. But they continue to cycle through different players. Hamik then turns the corner. Now they've got a multiple goal scorer. Kosha Hamik cuts it to 7-5.
And that's something that the Netherlands is going to need to do more. They need to turn that corner more, especially if Germany's going to stay in a zone. It's one of the only ways to beat the zone. If you continue to just run the perimeter around the zone, then they're just going to continue to hand you off, and you're going to continue to run into a double team.
Hamik will allow Coach Adam Gray to use a timeout with 7:01 remaining. So he'll have one left for the remainder of this game. We'll take a timeout too for 2 minutes. Get 7-5, fourth quarter, but the Netherlands have finally cracked the German defense. Kosha Hamik with a terrific dodge, and Dika Spitzen recovers that ball. So the Netherlands winning another draw control, and they get a high shot, high to low. Alina Oskam made a difficult catch, and now it's a one-goal game.
That was an amazing finish, and I don't think that the Germans were prepared for that feed to come into the crease, let alone the take on that and the finish.
Spitzen gets the assist. So that was quick, 6 minutes left.
And now the draw control becomes very important.
Unser Ball!
Nedig had it, and a Netherlands foul.
Genau so, Stella! Go defense! Let's go defense!
Now this will be interesting. Does Germany go into a stall? And here come the Netherlands.
Still 5 minutes and change left. As Blanc came around with a good look. So not yet on the stall.
Does the Netherlands go into a full press? Will their goalie become a factor?
And this pass off of Health.
She doesn't want it! She doesn't want it! She's scared of the ball! She's scared of the ball!
Gotta love fans.
Under 4.5. Kashorik out of a double. Blanc unsettled. Fires! Blanc had just missed with the left. And now she's able to rear back with her right. 8-6.
And that was a rifle of a shot by Blanc.
Her third of the game. Eight goals for the tournament now for Anna Blanc. Matching Laura Kashorik. We'll make that second now to Kashorik. Kashorik picking up her 9th back in the first quarter. Van Dilkt, the ball came up on her, and it'll be Nadig. She overran it. Foul against Germany. Trailer, Van Dilkt gets it right back.
And now the scoring's opened up for both teams.
And the Netherlands, this is the running game that Adam Gray wished they had yesterday against Israel. But they could not play defense well enough. And the game got away from them. But they have a chance here against a Group A opponent. And the belief is that the Netherlands have never beaten Germany. Draw control. There's one back by Askum.
And we're coming up on the 2-minute mark. So this offense needs to get going.
Spitzen has it with 2:10, and the clock will continue to move unless there's a coach's call timeout. And they get a shooting space as darting into the 8-meter was Dahan. Imke Dahan. And she tried to put a dent into the turf with that shot. Another cut, tight catch. Beck makes the save to challenge. Shooter inside was Askum. 1:20 left. Dahan, and another foul on Germany. Spitzen. And Spitzen trying to be aggressive. She's been the player that has great potential, says the Dutch coaching staff. Hamik. Hamik on a sweep across. Dahan a rollback. And then Dahan lost it. Germany has the ball. Half minute to go. Block ahead. The clock will stop on any whistle. Block running to safety in the corner for Neubauer. Outside Kashorik. Germany just seconds away. And we have our fourth one-goal game of this tournament. It is Germany that picks up the win. They'll take on Scotland again tomorrow to play for 5th place. The Netherlands, they'll play for 7th place against Ireland. Germany able to come up with a big second half as they mob Louisa Beck in goal. Anna Blanc, 2 goals in the 4th quarter, was a big difference maker, and then stops through the duration of the game by Louisa Beck, putting together one of the better full-game goalie performances we have seen.
Yeah, Beck really stepped up for Germany, and you know, I like the confidence that Germany had at the end of the game there to be able to control the ball. I think that, really, to tell you the truth, I think that there are some Netherlands players that would not take that shot at the end of the game. And you need that 1 or 2 players that are going to just put the team on their back and go to cage.
The Dutch with a good opportunity tonight, but they fall short. Credit the Germans for climbing out of a 3-0 hole to get this victory. That's a wrap for the second day of the knockout round. Tomorrow, we get it going once again at 10:40 a.m. 6 more games, including 5th through 8th place being decided. The championship game, the 3rd place game, has already been set for Thursday night, with those games getting started approximately 5:30 and 7:30 game times. But those will be the last of 6 as well. That's a final tonight from the Tanya. For Steffi Samaras, I'm Ralph Benarchik, wishing you good night.